I'm just going to wait to past until we start. It's my first time doing Facebook Live, so I'm not sure if we can tell how many participants are there or not, and I'm not used to using my phone, so I hope you can see me clearly. So I'll just wait till past. I hope you're all feeling well and relaxed for this evening. So I make it 7:30, so I'll start. So welcome everybody. My name's Nicola. So this is an introduction to Yin Yoga. I've just got a message. Oh, hello, hello Olive. Yes, this is an introduction to yoga, Yin Yoga. So I'm presuming I've done this class as if you haven't done it before. So some of you maybe have done. So just bear with me. We're going to be working the spine this evening through all its range of movement: lateral flexion, forward flexion, spinal twist, and extension. The class will last between 30 and 40 minutes. So normally in Yin we'd hold a pose usually for 3 minutes, maybe longer depending on everybody's abilities. But tonight we'll probably hold them a little bit shorter than that. And just before we start, just to let you know, if there's any pose that you're not comfortable with, that just doesn't feel right for you, please tune into your own body and just do a different pose if that's better for you. Obviously I can't see you, so it's really difficult for me to help you. But I've made the poses really basic. They're all fairly accessible, hopefully, for you tonight. So just quickly, if you've got a cushion, a blanket and a big pillow or a bolster, that would be great. If you haven't, don't worry. They're just there to help us stay in the pose with as much comfort as possible. So we're just going to start, and if you want to sit on a cushion, it's always nice to have a bit of padding, I think, and sit however's comfortable for you, cross-legged or kneeling, or you can have your legs out if you'd rather, sit against the wall, sit in a chair, whatever you feel, just to get yourself comfortable. And I normally start the class with some breath work just to calm us down, and then I'll go into the poses, and then we normally finish with a savasana, a relaxation at the end. So I'm just going to invite you to close your eyes. If you don't feel comfortable closing your eyes, well then just gently gaze at the floor in front of you, with a soft gaze. And then just check in on your spine and see if you can grow that little bit taller. Imagine somebody's pulling you up by an invisible thread at the crown of your head down to the tailbone, and just feel that lovely straight spine. And then take some nice slow inhale and exhale, and just try and make the inhale and the exhale of the same quality and of the same length. And then just follow the breath reading a script. Follow the breath as it enters the tip of your nose, and follow it as it journeys to the back of your mouth, down your throat and into your lungs, and notice how your body moves with your breath. And as you exhale, feel that gentle sense of release, of letting go. And take two more slow, long breaths. Just really sensing the feel of the breath as it enters your nose and travels down into your lungs. Noticing the movement of your body, very subtle, as we inhale and exhale. And then gently just open your eyes and just be aware of how you feel just by simply following your breath, and how it can help calm our nervous system. So the first pose we do tonight is very simple, it's pentacle. So we'll lie down on our mat and we're basically making an X shape. So hopefully you can see me. So have your legs at a comfortable width, not too much. And then have your arms above your heads too in an X. So you should be feeling a gentle stretch. I'm going to come out of the pose to talk to you, but please stay in that X shape. And I don't want you to stretch as far as you can. I want you to relax in this stretch. So one of the things I really want you to focus on today is to try and relax your muscles. Yin is one of those, it's very different to any other type of exercise in the fact that it's really important to try and disengage our muscles, to let them relax basically. And the reason for that is to try and get into the connective tissue, our fascia, which will help increase our flexibility and our mobility and help our joints. So while you're there, just breathe slowly in and slowly out. And notice the tips of your toes and the tips of your fingers. And just be aware of any sensation you can feel right now. In Yin, we're really trying to tune into the energy that's going on within us. And some people can find that straight away, and other people do Yin classes and don't really ever observe it. But be aware that we're all full of energy. And for me, as I said yesterday, feeling the energy within you is one of the most wonderful things within Yin. So on your next breath, I do want you to be more active. So I want you to inhale deeply and then stretch as far as you can through your fingers and your toes. And then as you exhale slowly, just feel that lovely release into the mat. Feel your back releasing into the mat, taking away any tension. Imagine the earth drawing that tension away. And then inhale again, stretch through those fingers and toes. Hold your breath and then exhale. Again, imagine all those negativity is going away from you into the mat, into the earth. And one more time, inhale, stretch, feel your tummies nice and tight. And then exhale and just sink and release and feel those relaxing muscles and how it feels just to loosen all the way. And then we're going to now come up. We stay lying down, but we're going to come to our next position, which is known as Banasana. Basically, we're making a banana shape with our bodies. So lie down and start walking your feet over to the right, as far as feels comfortable. And then you can either have your arms folded above your head or straight above you, and then start bringing the top of your body over to the right too, so you're making that lovely banana shape. But try and make sure that both hips are still level, that your right buttock is still on the floor. If it's come off, you've come too far. And if anyone finds it uncomfortable underneath their left shoulder, this is where your blanket comes in handy, because you can pad your blanket underneath your shoulder for comfort. And that's what we're going to use the props for. So we're going to stay in this shape for 2 minutes. I'll just tell you the 3 important things to remember when you're first coming into a Yin pose. As you come into a Yin and find the edge, so you go to where the deepest part of your pose is. And then if anything, you back away a little bit and find a bit of softness. Because we're going to have to stay in this pose for a period of time, you need to know that you can hold it. And then once you've found your position, you then resolve to be still and try and find that calmness, even though your body's being tugged and pulled in a funny old shape. And then the magic ingredient is time. So we let our body sit in this pose. And this can be quite difficult. We're not very good as human beings at being still. So it's great training for us. If anybody feels they want a deeper stretch, You can cross your left leg over your right ankle, and if you want to pull gently with your right arm on your left wrist, you can. But remember, we're not trying to come into the fullest pose. We're trying to relax here, soften those muscles. And as long as you're feeling a tug along your left side, so we're in a lateral flexion of the spine here, so that's our target area. So as long as you're finding a stretch, well then you're doing a yin pose. And there's no perfect position. We've all got different shaped bodies, so we're all going to make different types of poses. So when you're ready, take a nice slow inhale. And then as you exhale, walk your feet to the centre of the mat and the top of your body. And then we come into what we call rebound in between each pose. And you just relax here for usually up to a minute. Just trying to notice any difference between the left side and the right side. And this is the great opportunity to try and really sense any of that energy. We've been stretching our body to the right side, so changing the way the energy patterns go in our body. So when you release, you often get a surge of maybe tingling or electricity, all sorts of different sensations away. I feel it's going to be different to you. So just try and tune into that. But again, if you're not feeling anything, that's not a problem either. We're all different in how we react to our bodies. So when you're ready, we're going to walk our feet this time over to the left side. Remember, go as far as you can, and then if anything, back off a little bit. And then raise your arms above your head. You can either have them bent or straight, and bring your body over to the left side. Feeling that lovely stretch through your left hip, maybe up to your shoulders, and knowing that you're flexing your spine in a lateral position. And we're actually pulling here on something called the iliotibial band, which is a strong muscle in our sides. We're also, tonight, as we're doing a lot of spinal work, activating our kidney and urinary bladder meridians. So yin yoga also deals a lot, as I said, with the energetic pathways. And so traditional Chinese medicine is incorporated. And we talk about the energetic pathways known as meridians that go through our bodies. And we're trying to release any blockages in those energy pathways by doing these poses. It's like trying to twist a hose pipe and unkink it and then let the water flow freely again. So when you're ready, gently bring your feet back to the centre. And then come into your lying position. You can bend your knees if you'd rather, if that feels better for you. Try and really take responsibility for your own body, because you know what's best for your body, and it's taking this time to learn how you react to the situation. And now we're going to roll over onto our tummies. And we're going to come into a very gentle pose to begin with. Basically, it's crocodile, so I'll come lower down so you can see me. So you basically just have your elbows underneath and gently just let your chest drape on the floor, and you can lower your head if you want to. I'm going to keep mine up so you can hear me. And your feet position is however you want. If it feels better for your feet to be a little bit wider, have them wider, or have your feet together. And you should be feeling a very, very gentle compression in your lumbar region, just here of your spine. And often in yin, the poses can be quite uncomfortable, but we have to learn to sit with the discomfort, and we're compressing and stressing our joints quite often. But this is the aim of yin, and we can feel quite fragile when we come out of a pose, so just be aware of that. So this is just a little warm up for the next pose. We're not having a rebound. I'm going to come into Sphinx. So Sphinx, you'll probably know if you all go to normal yoga classes. So come further up on your elbows until you find that compression there. Some of you may feel this is too much and rather stay in what we call crocodile, the lower pose, if you're not used to extending your back. For others, you can come further up onto your elbows, and if you want, have your hands straight out in front of you. The other option is you can get the pillow if that feels too much, and you can either push it right on your tummy to help prop you up, or if you'd rather, you can have it under your armpits. And just finding a position that's good for you. Some people like to have a blanket underneath their pubic bone because it can dig in and can be uncomfortable. But once you've found that pose, try and think about just relaxing those muscles. So we're literally trying to drape our tummy onto the floor. And as long as you know that you're getting a compression in your lower lumbar area, well, that's the target area, and you're doing your yin pose. And try not to be actively pulling or pushing with your arms. There's no, we don't want any isometric pulling like we would in a hatha yoga class. And it doesn't matter if you feel like you're dropping down a little bit on your shoulders. We're not trying to engage our chest forward. We're literally trying to let it melt. So we're trying to let all the muscles relax, even though we might be finding quite a strong compression in our spine. And then in the quiet moments, let your breath take you down to the area of compression and feel that you can release any tension with your breath. So inhale and visualize you're sending the breath down to that lumbar area. As you exhale, everything's softening and releasing. And just enjoy the stillness. And we're going to come out of this pose. If any of you feel you're really enjoying it and want to stay in it, well, stay in it. It's your practice. I'm just guiding you. So come back down, place your forehead on your hands, and then just draw your left leg up towards you. And this is known as tipsy sphinx, so a little bit drunk here. And just find that lovely gentle stretch on your left inner thigh. And also notice how your spine feels. So it's going to be really different sensations for each and every one of us. Some of you will love this feeling, and other people find it quite stiff in your back. So just be aware, we're not staying here for long. This is just like a counter pose. And then release. And then draw your right leg up to your side, along up to your elbow. Don't worry if it doesn't go that far, just as long as you can get a bend and a stretch into that hip, and find it maybe in your inner thigh. And then gently release And then we're going to come straight into our next pose. So if you can, just push yourself up with your arms, come through tabletop, and we're just going to come into child's pose. So have your knees together, preferably, because it's going to counterbalance the spinal twist we've done, flexion we've done. If you'd rather have your knees wide apart, you can. And then we're just going to lower down and bring, if possible, our forehead to the floor. Now, if you've got really tight hamstrings, you're not going to be able to get your bottom onto your knees. So this is where your blanket becomes useful. So you can put your blanket between your knees. Or if you could even put a cushion between your knees, and you might want to put padding for your knees. And some people have problems with their ankles, if their ankles are stiff. So again, you can use a blanket underneath your ankles. It's just working out what props are going to be good for you to keep you holding you in this position. And so once you've found the ideal position for you, just then try and let everything melt. Let your whole muscles soften and sink. And you'll probably feel that gentle extension in your spine, flexion I should say, as a counter move to our Sphinx pose. And if you ever find the poses are getting too much for you, do know that you can come out. Again, with yin, we're trying to use time. We need time to let our body rest and sit with the stress. At the moment, we're gently stressing our lower lumbar spine. This is to help our flexibility and our mobility, and to get in deep into the fascia, our connective tissue. And if you don't really understand what fascia is, it's quite a difficult complex. It's been described to me as like a silk stocking that covers all of your muscles and internal organs. And it's also believed to have electrical impulses going through it. So it's sending signals to the brain all the time. And then when you're ready, gently either come onto your tummy or come onto your back, whatever feels right for you. I prefer to come onto my back as you come into this rebound. And just notice how your spine feels. It might feel a little bit fragile. And if it does, well then that's absolutely correct. It should be. Often when we come out of yin poses, because we've been compressing a certain area, we can feel really stiff, and we can feel like we've aged 10, 20 years in a matter of moments. But that's because of the strong compression we've been doing. You might not get it so much tonight because we're not holding the poses for such a long length of time. But know that this is what we're after. We're trying to stress the joints to try and help fibroblasts get to the area to help build strength into our joints in between our spine and our hips. And just take a few breaths and see if you can notice any of those sensations, anything at all. And then when you're ready, if you can gently either roll to the side or gently come up to sitting. And we're going to come to, they've got very lots of animal names in yin. We're going to come to a caterpillar. So if you think what a caterpillar does, it folds over. So we're going to fold over. So again, this is going to be very different for different people. So if you've got tight hamstrings, you can bend your knees, you can rest them on a pillow. if that's best for you. And the other thing is, you can have I'm going to use my blanket. You can use a blanket or a pillow, and I like to push it as tight as I can into my tummy for me to roll over and roll forward. So we're literally coming into a forward flexion of the spine here. So just find the position that's good for you. And if you know you've got lots of flexibility, you don't need these props. Even though I'm fairly flexible, I still like having this blanket pushed into my tummy to feel like I've got something to roll over and extend my spine over. But it's finding what you like, really. And then once you're there, just learn to be still. Take this time just to observe what's going on within. And if it's feeling uncomfortable, remember to turn back to your breath. And use visualization, imagining you sending that breath to the area of tightness. And your breath's allowing you to relax into it. And this is a very calming posture. We're activating our kidney and urinary bladder meridians here. And the urinary bladder runs through the brain. And when we come into these forward folds, it brings a nice, hopefully, calming effect to your posture. And then when you're ready, gently come out however that feels for you. And in all yin postures, which I should have said earlier, you try and come as slowly as you can out of them, really delicately. Be gentle with your body. You've been in deep compressions. You've just been massaging your tummy there as well. And then either come to your side or lie straight down, and we'll come into our rebound, our Savasana rebound. If you'd rather have your feet bent, you can have your feet bent. If you feel you want to sway your hips from side to side, do that. Try and do what you feel your body needs. I don't always like to move after a yin pose. I like to be still, but I know some people like to move, so know that you can do that. And then when you're in your Savasana, your rebound, just try and see what you can notice. Usually the soles of the feet are a good way to start. You can often feel little sparks, maybe tingling, a nice sort of pins and needles feeling. And then see if you can feel those sort of sensations anywhere else in your body. You might be feeling it in your hips, in your legs, in your lower spine. But again, if you're not feeling anything apart from a slight ache, that's fine too. If you are noticing that ache, try and put a name as to how it's feeling, so that you're aware of that sensation and know that you're okay with that sensation. So if you feel that ache again, you won't be worried about it. You know it's fine. And now we're going to come to our final pose. It seems a very quick class. So we're going to come into a reclining twist. So literally bring your knee to your chest and then bring the other one and just give yourself a little hug and maybe a little roll on the spine if that's what you feel you need right now, and maybe a little side to side. And then have your arms out at shoulder height and then just gently lower your knees to the right, or if you've gone to the left, that's fine too. And then when you're in this twist, just play with your knee position. Some people like to have their knees higher up, so you're getting it more into your hip. Other people like to have the knees lower down, so feeling it more in your lower spine. And then just notice what your shoulders are doing. Sometimes I like to lift my body up slightly and adjust so I can get my left shoulder further on the floor. Again, don't worry if it's not reaching. If your left arm feels like it's floating, well then use a blanket or a prop, whatever you've got to support that left arm. And the other thing is, if your knees are up here, again, you can use your pillow. You can put pillow between your knees, which is really lovely. Or if you're not reaching the ground, put your knees on your pillow. Just finding the right position for you. So the target area here is obviously we're in a spinal twist. So you should be feeling it along your left side and through you down your hip and maybe into your hamstrings and your glutes. And if you want to, you can rotate your head to look over to your left arm, but only if it's good for your neck. And just observe how your body's feeling. What sensations can you feel in your body in this twist? And where are you feeling it? So we're going to be going to the other side soon. So just see if you can remember what it feels like on this side, so you can compare it on the right side. When you're ready, take a nice slow inhale, and as you exhale, roll onto your back. Maybe pause there a moment if you need to. Maybe readjust your spine if you feel it's a bit out of alignment. And then gently exhale your knees over to the other side. Again, adjusting your knee position to wherever you feel you need it, what's best for your spine. And if you wish to look towards your right hand, you can, but if you just want to keep your neck in a neutral position, that's fine too. Because we're more concerned about our spinal twist today. And then see if you can observe any difference from side to side. Does this hip feel different to your left hip? It probably will, because we do have different sides, different mobility in each side. And just enjoy the journey of your breath. Keep coming back to your breath. Find that nice stillness and peacefulness that you get from following your breath. And if your tummy's gurgling, let's remember we've been twisting. So we're activating our digestive system as well as our spine. And then when you're ready, come back onto the mat and maybe take any extra movement you need. So maybe draw your knees to your chest. And if you'd like to raise your head up to your knees, you can, to really feel that whole stretch through your spine. And then gently lower your head down. And maybe just bring your feet flat on the floor. Maybe just windscreen wiper your knees from side to side. Just to ease off that lower spine that we've been working quite hard on tonight. And then come back to neutral. And we're going to come into our final relaxation pose. So extend your legs down to the bottom of the mat. Feet slightly apart. And have your hands away from your body, palms face up. So you feel really open. The chest is open. And if this is really not comfortable for you, you can have your knees bent. You can put the cushion underneath your knees as well if you want to. Or you can maybe have a pillow for your head. Again, find your comfort place. And then once you've done that, take a nice long inhale. Imagine you're inhaling all the way down to your toes. And then exhale and feel that lovely release of letting go, of getting rid of any stale air, anything we don't need. And take another nice, slow, deep breath all the way down to the tips of your toes. And then exhale, following the breath, letting your body melt into the mat. Do that one more time. Taking a nice deep breath, following it all down through your body. As you exhale, let the wave of the breath relax you and release you. And just return to a normal breath. And just enjoy these last few moments of stillness. And just observe how your body's feeling right now. And notice how you feel in your mind. One of the feedbacks that I got was that I gave out was that she thought that yin was like meditation with movement, which I thought was a lovely way of describing it. And it can be very meditative, but more when we're holding the poses much longer and when I'm not talking quite as much. So when you're ready, slowly bring your knees to your chest. And then roll over to the side, whichever side, but your left side is your yin side. And then come up to sitting. So thank you everybody for practicing yin with me. It was a very short introduction. We'll be doing it again next week, and I think we'll be work more on the hips, and the poses might be a little bit more challenging. We'll see. Any feedback, I'd appreciate it, and if you feel you need to I haven't explained anything properly, please let me know, and I'm willing to answer any questions. So here, have a lovely week, and I wish you much joy and happiness. So take care everybody.